Hi, friends, and welcome to art. Well, math, but also art. So I woke up this morning feeling creative, and so I got out my pattern blocks and I made a beautiful art project. Would you like to see it? Okay, I thought you would. So first I grabbed, this green piece and these bright yellow pieces. So nice. And then, of course, these gorgeous purple pieces. And ta-da! What did I make? Yeah, I made a cool butterfly. Isn't that awesome? So I told you I was feeling very arty today. But you know what? I love doing art, but I also really, really love math. And do you think we could sprinkle in a little bit of math into our art time? Of course we can. Let's see. What if we use different pieces to make this picture. So what if we try to figure out how many pieces we used all together in total? Okay, let's break it down by parts. Well, I used 4 yellow parts, and we could add those to the 4 purple parts that I used. And then, of course, the 1 green part that I used. And if we add in all those parts, then we're going to get the total amount. Okay, now we're cooking. I love this. Art, awesome. Math, awesome. Okay, let's talk about this number sentence though. We have 4 plus 4 plus 1 is equal to something. We don't know yet. And we have been using number sentences that have 3 addends. And the strategy we've been using is to make a group of 10. But, I'm looking at this 3 add-in number sentence, and I don't see any 2 numbers that work together to make a 10. Do you? Oh, no. Does that mean that this number sentence is impossible to do? Well, I think our learning goal for today might help us out. So, our learning goal for today says, I can group numbers in different ways to find the total. Okay. So, we can think about what we know about how numbers work together, and that's going to help us to find the total amount. Okay, so I'm going to let my friend Delaney help us out first. So, Delaney had a way to group the numbers. She said, I'm looking at this number sentence, 4 plus 4 plus 1, and I know how to group together some add-ins. She saw right there, 4 plus 4, that's a double. And she's really good at her doubles. And the double of 4 plus 4 is what, friends? That's right, 8. Okay, so she found that double, and that's the group that she made. And what does she have left to add? Yeah, she just has to add in the other part. She has to add the plus 1. And 8 plus 1 equals what, friends? 9. Good job. So the answer is 9 was the total amount. But my friend Sloan had a different way to solve the problem. Remember, today we can group them in different ways. Sloan saw this problem 4 plus 4 plus 1. And look at what she did. Look how she grouped it. She loves a plus 1 problem. So she did 4 plus 1. That's the group that she made because she knew that when you have plus 1 more, it's just counting up by 1. So she knew right away that was 5. And then what's the other part that she still has to add, friends? Yeah, the 4. So she just then did 4 plus 5, and that equals 9. And that's how she solved the problem. So both friends had 4 plus 4 plus 1, and that equaled 9. But depending on how they grouped them, they also created new number sentences using different parts. Remember, Delaney had, was it Delaney? Yeah, Delaney had 8 plus 1 equals 9, and Sloan had 4 plus 5 equals 9. And they created both of those number sentences based on how they grouped the numbers together when they had 3 parts. Wild, right? Okay, wait until you see. Let's try this again. We are so used to looking for tens that it's really good to stretch our brains to see different ways we can group numbers. So say, for example, say I have this problem. 2 plus 5 plus 3 equals something. Can you press pause right now? Talk with a buddy. What 2 numbers would you group together to add first? What do you think you would do? Press pause while I chat about it and press play when you're ready to see what I'm going to do. Okay, I know I'm really, really good at adding 2s. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the biggest number and add that 2. So I'm going to say my first group I'm going to do is 2 plus 5. Remember, I'm really good at adding 2, so I know right away that that's 7. And then what do I have left to add in then? Yeah, the other part, which is plus 3. Well, friends, what is 7 plus 3 equal? That's right, it equals 10. So my total amount would be 10. Okay, now you might have had a different way to group it. What's another way we could group the add-ins in this number sentence to still solve the problem? What's another thing we could do? Anyone have any ideas? Ooh, I like your thinking. We could have said 2 plus 3, because what does 2 plus 3 equal, friends? 5. And do you see what I'm seeing? The other part to add in is a 5. And what's 5 plus 5? Also a 10. Let's go. Good job. So that's our total amount that we were missing. See, today's learning goal is that we can group different numbers. It doesn't really matter as long as, of course, it's a strategy that works really well for us. So if you're really good at doubles, go with the doubles. If you're really good with adding 2, go with adding 2. If you're really good at finding numbers that you can create to make a 10 later on, do what you need to do, friends. So, but for right now, what I'm choosing to do might be different from you, but that's okay, as long as you can show your good thinking. Okay? So, I'm busting out the artwork again, but this time I have lots going on. I have all of these beautiful shapes. Okay? So, in a second, we're going to look at the different parts. But I would like you, while you're looking at it, to go grab a dry erase board and a marker, or a piece of paper and a pencil, because we're going to do some math, and I want you to try out different strategies and different groups to solve these problems, okay? Okay, so here we go. Do you have your dry erase board and your marker or your piece of paper and a pencil? It's okay. If not, press pause, go grab and press play when you're ready. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do when we see a gorgeous picture like this is we're going to look for different parts. So let's see. What should we start with? What color? All right, let's start with blue. How many blue pieces are there? Perfect, 4. Let's go ahead and write that down. 4. There are 4 blue pieces. And we want to find how many pieces in total. So let's add them to how many red pieces are there? Okay, so there are 4 blue pieces and there are 4 red pieces. Let's go ahead and write that down. And then what's the last group we need to add in? Yep, the green circles. So how many green circles are there? Perfect, there are 6. Okay, and then our goal is to find how many pieces in total. All right, this is where you get to make some choices, friends. You get to think about how you would group them together. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways, but I want you to try to solve the problem first. Show me on your good paper or your dry erase board what you would group together, and then find the answer, and then press pause. We're going to work through it together. But I want you to make sure you know why you chose that grouping, because you're going to tell a buddy in a second. Okay, did you find the answer, friends? Oh, I can't wait to hear what your process was, what your strategy was, what you grouped together. I'm very excited. I started out by doing what we've been working on. I saw right away that there was a 4 and a 6 in there. So I grouped those together and I made a 10, because we have been practicing that and I'm really good at knowing 10, friends. So then, of course, I could say 10 plus the other part that's left over, which is the 4, and that equals 14. Did anyone use 10, friends, as the way to group these together to solve the problem? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But did anyone else do something else? Did anyone see a double in there? Yeah, do you see a double we could have added together? Yes, we could have added 4 plus 4. There's a double right there, and that equals 8. And then what would we have to do? What would the rest of our number sentence say? Yeah, we'd have to add in that 6 part. So we'd say 8 plus 6 equals what, friends? 14. Perfect. And that would be our total that we didn't know. See, our learning goal says I can group numbers in different ways to find the total. And that's exactly what we can do. And we can do that because we have really good brains that have been working very hard this year to become the boss of the numbers and have the numbers work for us instead of us working for the numbers. And that means we can use what we know about numbers and how they work together to solve the problems. Okay, so when you're working today, I want you to look for different ways to group numbers when you have 3 add-ins so that you can find the total. All right, good luck, friends. This is kind of tricky, but you totally got it. Bye, see you later.